Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video we will be looking at AQA AS Psychology Specimen 1 Paper 1 Examplar Answers for Memory, which you need to know for AQA Alevel Psychology. I hope you enjoy this video and find it helpful. Let's get started. Please note that these answers have been produced with knowledge of the mark scheme but have not been approved by the mark scheme themselves. There are 3 assessment objectives, AOs, in psychology. In this video they are color-coded. AO1 Knowledge, purple. AO2 Application, blue. AO3 Evaluation, red and green. In AS there are 12 mark questions, instead of 16 mark questions. For the purpose of this video and to avoid confusion for Alevel, the 12 mark questions have been turned into 16 mark questions. Question 1. Complete the following statement about long-term memory. Shade 1 box only. 1 mark. Information stored with reference to time and place refers to A. Episodic memory, B. Procedural memory, C. Semantic memory. A. Episodic memory. Question 2. Complete the following statement about long-term memory. Shade 1 box only. 1 mark. Information not available for conscious inspection refers to A. Episodic memory, B. Procedural memory, C. Semantic memory. B. Procedural memory. Read the item and then answer the questions that follow. Participants in an experiment were shown a film of a robbery. The participants were then divided into 2 groups. One group was interviewed using a standard interview technique and the other group was interviewed using the cognitive interview technique. All participants were then given an accuracy score, out of 20, based on how closely their recall matched the events in the film. 20 equals completely accurate, 0 equals not at all accurate. The results of the experiment are shown in Table 1. Table 1. The median accuracy score for the standard interview and the cognitive interview. Question 3. Sketch an appropriate graphical display to show the median accuracy scores in Table 1. 6 marks. 1 mark for each of the following. Display as a bar chart. Both axes labeled correctly. An informative title with reference to the 4 and DV. Y-axis has appropriate scaling. Bars are separate. Bars are plotted reasonably correctly. Question 4. The experiment used an independent group's design. Explain how this study could have been modified by using a matched pairs design. 4 marks. This study could have been modified using a matched pairs design by matching the 2 groups on key variables that are expected to affect memory. This could be eyesight, age, or intelligence level. All participants should be pre-tested any assessed for the key variable. For each person in one condition, the researcher should assign a matched person in the other condition. Question 5. Identify and outline 2 techniques that may be used in a cognitive interview. 4 marks. 1 technique that can be used in the cognitive interview is context reinstatement. This is when a person mentally recreates an image of the situation, including environmental and personal details and the person's emotional state of the event. For example, a person may recall the time of day, weather, sights, sounds, who they were with or feelings and thoughts. These details act as a trigger or cue to help a person recall more information based on the principle of retrieval failure, cue-dependent forgetting. A second technique of the cognitive interview is report everything. This is when a person recalls every single detail they can remember from the event, even those that may seem trivial, irrelevant, unimportant, or details that the witness isn't confident on. For example, what the offender or witnesses were wearing. These details can act as triggers for other memories and help a person recall more important information or highlight something that has been overlooked. Question 6. Outline and evaluate research into the effects of leading questions on the accuracy of eyewitness testimony. 8 marks. A leading question is a type of question that suggests particular answer or contains information that prompts the respondent to answer in a specific way. These questions often guide the respondent towards a desired response or answer, rather than allowing them to answer freely. Loftus and Palmer, 1974, conducted a landmark study to investigate whether misleading information, the wording of the question and effects of language, could distort eyewitness testimony accounts. An opportunity sample of 45 university students was shown clips of car accidents and then asked specific questions about what they had seen. There were 5 conditions, only one of which was experienced by each participant, an independent measures experimental design. A critical question was asked about the speed of the cars where the wording varied. The participants were either asked how fast were the cars going when they smashed, hit, collided, bumped, contacted into each other. They found that the words that implied a stronger collision resulted in a greater average estimate of speed from participants. The participants in the smashed condition reported the highest speed estimate, 40.8 miles per hour, followed by collided, 39.3 miles per hour, bumped, 38.1 miles per hour, hit, 34 miles per hour, and contacted, 31.8 miles per hour, in descending order, demonstrating how leading questions could influence memory recall. Loftus and Palmer suggested 2 reasons for these results. 1. Response bias. The misleading information provided may have influenced the answer a person gave, a response bias, but didn't actually lead to a false memory of the event. Therefore, leading questions do not affect memory, just choice for answer. 2. Substitution bias. The memory representation is altered, the critical verb changes a person's perception of the accident. Some critical words would lead someone to perceive the accident as more serious. This perception is then stored in a person's memory of the event. Therefore, question wording actually distorts memory. They concluded that the estimated speed was affected by the verb used. The verb implied information about the speed, which systematically affected the participants' memory of the accident. A strength of Loftus and Palmer's study is that the study has real-world practical application. Loftus's Devlin Report, 1976, recommendation serves as a crucial guideline for judges and juries, emphasizing that eyewitness accounts should be corroborated with additional evidence before reaching a verdict. This is particularly important in criminal cases where the stakes are high, and wrongful convictions can have devastating consequences. By educating juries about the potential pitfalls of relying solely on eyewitness testimony, the legal system can work towards minimizing errors in judgment and ensuring that convictions are based on a more comprehensive assessment of evidence. This is a strength because it suggests that the legal system can improve its processes and outcomes by integrating psychological research into courtroom practices. By recognizing the limitations of eyewitness testimony, the justice system can adopt more rigorous standards for evidence evaluation, ultimately leading to fairer trials and a reduction in wrongful convictions. A limitation of Loftus and Palmer's study is that it lacks population validity. The participants were university students, which may limit the generalizability of the findings to other populations. Students are not representative of the general population in several ways. The students are likely to have been less experienced drivers or possibly never even driven a car before and therefore may lack the knowledge of driving skills and may be less confident than an experienced driver would be in their ability to estimate speed. This may have influenced the students to be more swayed by the verb in the question. This is a limitation because it suggests that the findings of Loftus and Palmer's study may not be applicable or generalizable to the wider population, particularly those outside the university student demographic. If the sample lacks diversity in age, experience, and background, it raises concerns about the reliability of the conclusions drawn from the study. A limitation of Loftus and Palmer's study is that the study lacks mundane realism. Participants viewed video clips of car crashes, which is an artificial task. The video clips would not have had the same emotional impact as witnessing a real-life accident, and the participants would have been less likely to pay attention and less motivated to be accurate in their judgments. This is a limitation because it suggests that the results may not truly capture how people would react in real-life situations, where the emotional stakes and stress are much higher and therefore the findings and conclusions cannot be generalized and are not applicable to real-life situations. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more content like this. Bye.